Support characters in these type of games tend to be on the stronger side, and when the main gimmick of the game is to waste as much time as possible till the exit spawns, supports tend to be the best at that because they're able to either keep the team alive or do some unorthodox stuff that is annoying for the killer. Frisk Pull is able to just outright end chases if they're able to hit it from safe spots, and Sayori's healing is able to invalidate a lot of the damage the killer did, which was time they wasted trying to land those hits. And out of all of the support and all the survivors in general, no other character is able to compete when it comes to Monika's ability to waste the killer's time. My unpopular YouTuber opinion is that I think Monika is the best character in the game. When it comes to Monika, she has some very unorthodox ways of helping the team, and she's also very self-reliant, being able to keep herself alive without needing the team to help her too much. The biggest reason Monika is incredibly hard to kill is just because of Glitch. What Glitch does is, upon activation, for a solid decent amount of time, you get a damage reduction to any and all forms of damage. This applies to Vortex's Outburst mode and Yuri's flurry of attacks. It typically reduces the damage you receive from any attack by 15, and ability damage by roughly around 5, and after the duration ends, you get a very strong speed boost. And because Frisk cannot stop catching W's, their act buff has two different effects for Monika. The first one is it turns Glitch into Virus. I'm actually re-recording this section because there's a lot more I want to talk about Virus that I didn't originally in the original recording, and try and explain why I think this is the best skill in the game that's not Frisk Act. Virus does the exact same thing as Glitch with the damage reduction and all that, but if you use it when you're right on top of the killer, you will give them the Virus debuff. What it does is, if it lands, it will glitch out the screen for about 10 seconds, and during that 10 seconds, the killer cannot use their M1 auto attack. The longest stuns in the game tend to go up to 5 seconds at most, while having your autos disabled for 10 seconds is effectively being stunned with the novelty of being able to move. Successfully landing a virus is effectively shaving 10 seconds off the timer. There's nothing the killer can do about it once afflicted, they just have to wait for it to wear off and deal with the constant screen glitching with a bunch of text being thrown in their face. And if the killer decides to chase you, the Monika, for landing this, you still have your glitch for another 5 or so seconds after it wears off. You've just wasted so much of the killer's time, especially if they decided to try and tunnel you for it. The skill is only balanced by the fact that you have to be buffed by Frisk to use it and that the hitbox is incredibly small. But the reward for landing it successfully is incredibly rewarding. You've just got 10 seconds off the timer for free, and that's not even including all the other amounts of time you've probably been wasting just by playing Monika. That's all I really have to say on the skill at the moment. I think it needs to be toned down just a little bit. It's just too good, even if it is just a niche you can only use if you have a Frisk on your team.
I hate this channel.
No!
Monika's second skill and her main support skill is Right Poem. Upon activation for about 7 seconds, you get a minor speed boost, and any of your teammates that walk in the vicinity near you, or if you walk into them, you will give them a random buff, either being a decently strong speed boost or the glitch effect that you can give yourself. The glitch buff you give lasts for about 10 seconds, while the speed boost lasts for about 3 to 4 seconds. The speed boost itself is enough to get away from the killer. It's equivalent to getting hit by an M1. And anyone you buff will be highlighted for a little bit as well, so you can see where they're going. Best time to be using this is typically when your teammates are in chase or you're all clumped together camping in an area and the killer gets close to you. The speed buff it gives can end chases if teammates are in them, plus you yourself have ways to keep yourself alive if the killer decides to shift to you. And the glitch effect can make your teammates harder to kill, effectively extending the chases they're currently in. And the second buff of Frisk's Act just increases the effects duration of Right Poem. Monika's final skill, and one of the strongest skills in the game right next to Virus, is Manipulate. Upon activation, Monika will disable all hazard traps like the spikes and flames and red rings so they cannot hurt you or your teammates. The traps will still stun killers as they walk into them though. But there's one more small thing it does, something very minor, nothing really noticeable. If there's any springs within the radius you activated this, they will be disabled for the killer. I really don't think I need to explain why disabling one of the main movement options in the game for specifically the killer is one of the strongest things in the game. Kara and Vortex are able to follow through with their vertical mobility, but you're either A, forcing the user vertical mobility, or B, you use this after they use their mobility so they can't even get up there. And Yuri, oh poor Yuri. The lack of vertical mobility means that anytime you use Manipulate against her, she's just fucked. She either has to take the long way around or just wait for the springs to stop being disabled for her. I don't even care to explain the other effect of Manipulate disabling traps. It doesn't matter. That's not what anyone uses this skill for. Like, the only map this is relevant in any capacity is Hill Gym. I forgot to mention the duration is 10 seconds. There are some maps like Snowden that have the unescapable hole. If you're able to use it on a killer there, they're stuck down there unless they have some form of ability to get out of there that's vertical. And then there's Kind of Fair, the most survivor-sided map in the game. Monika just makes it an absolute miserable experience for killers. You can either use this while you're in chase or while your teammates are in chase. It doesn't matter. 90% of the time it'll just outright end the chases. And if you're playing with the team, there's a good chance one of your stunners will be able to knock them back down if they jumped up there. Yeah, this is one of the best skills in the game. There's like no downside to using it besides it having a decently long cooldown. That's all I have to say on Monika at the moment. As of right now, she is easily the best survivor in the game, and I'm surprised a lot more people don't seem to realize that. Her kit can either end chases or prolong them, either or, it doesn't matter. She's wasting time with every one of her skills. And the skills themselves are so simple to use that just by existing, you're helping a team out as long as you know when to press a button. With stuff like Glitch and Manipulate, she can just waste more time to the front court can with all of their stuns up. And Right Poem is a very strong tool to help teammates in chases and either end them or extend them. It doesn't matter, both the effects they give are really good to have. All three of her skills can be used either independently if you're by yourself, or you can use them to help the team by either taking aggro or just ending chases right then and there with stuff like Manipulate or Right Poem. She can run front court with Right Poem and Glitch to keep herself alive and Manipulate to disable the springs if she's in a tough spot, which she really never is. Right Poem works well in the front and middle court, either supporting the team or once again keeping yourself alive, and Manipulate falls under the category of middle court too. And Manipulate lets her be a backcourter, just using it in situations where your teammates are trying to get away when their stuns are down. She's effectively a support that is good at supporting her team and very well at supporting herself. While other supports like Sayori and Frisk don't have ways to really survive in chase besides one skill, Monika can use all three of her skills in chase and she'll be fine. I like the idea of a support survivalist, but the problem is she's too good at doing both, and I'm not entirely sure how they can change her kit while keeping the identity without gutting her. I find Monika fun to play, it's just she's so oppressive, and against killers like Yuri, it's a free win unless you're really bad at the game. I think the biggest skill that is in need of changing right now is Manipulate. I think it's fine that it disables traps and red rings for your teammates, but the spring disabling is way too oppressive, especially for 10 seconds. I think if they're going to change it, they should make it to where if the killer uses a manipulated spring, they should be afflicted with a debuff like a slow or a lesser version of the virus debuff. This way, so Yuri has a fighting chance against Monika, so she's not completely gutted by a single Manipulate. And so Vortex and Kara aren't forced to hold their mobility options for specifically Monika. That's really it though. There's a lot they can do for Monika, but I really hope people realize that she's not bad and that she doesn't need buffs, because the last character in this game that needs buffs is Monika. I have a few side projects I plan to work on in the meantime, and I will make more guides in the future. There's just a few other videos I want to work on, and just to throw this out there, I do fully plan to make videos on Outcome Memories and the Disaster Reimagined when they drop, because this is probably my favorite genre of game at the moment. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers, so once that happens, I'll figure out something special to do. I'm not quite sure yet. I honestly didn't think I'd get this far. That's really it. I'll have more stuff out in the future and some special content I'm currently working on.